This is Civitavecchia port, and that is Rome's Termini station, 70 kilometres away. The cruise line wants to charge you 100 to 150 euros per person for an organised coach transfer. I'm going to do the exact same trip today for about 10 euros, but here's the catch. Italian trains aren't exactly famous for running like clockwork, and if anything goes wrong, your ship won't wait for you. I'm Stuart, and today we're testing whether doing Rome on your own is a stroke of DIY genius or absolute madness. Welcome to Civitavecchia. Once the bus from your ship drops you off at the bus terminal, you'll see many options for tours around Civitavecchia itself and also for tours to Rome. They're all cheaper than those offered by the cruise ships, with prices starting from around 25 euros return for a simple coach transfer to over 100 euros for a tour. These offers are very tempting, but the journey can take up to 2 hours each way. Italian traffic can be a nightmare, and whilst they endeavour to get you back to your ship on time, there is absolutely no guarantee. I've just arrived at the cruise port shuttle bus terminal and I'm on my way into the town now. So it's more or less a straight road from where the cruise port free shuttle buses drop you off, straight through the centre of the town and out the other side. There is a McDonald's on the way for a pit stop if you need it, but we've got no time to lose. Along the way there are local shops for souvenir hunting, but stopping's going to take time away from your already jam-packed day. Just keep going straight all the way through the high street. Here's a good landmark for you to let you know that you're on the right path. You'll be passing this and it should be on your left-hand side. So there's the church that I was just telling you about, and just below it you can see a bus stop, and if you just walk behind that bus stop you can then walk along this battlement wall and it brings you out onto this platform where you can see the old fort, which is actually at the bottom of the cruise port. And if you've arrived on cruise ship, you'll no doubt be able to see your cruise ship over there in the distance. So from these battlements, just take a walk, a nice scenic walk along the restaurants. When we get to the end, we go down the steps and we're more than halfway there. In the past, the cruise ship shuttle buses used to drop you off just here, and it made it very convenient for you to get to the station, which is just down there. The McDonald's is just on this corner here, but now they're dropping you off in the town centre, so you have an additional 15-minute walk just to get back to this point. Oh well, it's all part of the adventure. So I've just walked down those steps, and as promised, there's the McDonald's, and I'm going to be walking down there now, which is straight on, following the sea and beach coastline. If you feel the walk is too much, then there are local buses that will take you between the port and the station. They are easy to spot and will have Porto Stazione as their destination on the front. There are plenty of restaurants along the way for a drink, and the station is clearly signposted, so you know you're heading in the right direction. The pathway at this point is also very flat for walking and not too strenuous. If you're enjoying this video, why not click like and subscribe? YouTube makes it very difficult for new channels to grow, so any help is appreciated. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. So here we are at the station. It took about 20 to 25 minutes in total. Like I said before, it's a shame that they're not dropping you off at the fort, because that's literally a 5-minute walk. But if you caught the bus from the station, which is about 6 euros, this green bus here is one of those buses, and this is where it would have dropped you off. So very convenient and very quick. That's definitely worthwhile doing, because really when you go into Rome on your own, you've got a big day ahead of you and you want to save as much energy as you possibly can, especially in the heat. Once you arrive at the station, getting your train ticket is pretty straightforward. You've got the ticket machines, or there's a ticket desk where you can actually speak to a real person. Personally, I went for the human option. They all speak English, and more importantly, I could ask questions about the trains, particularly the times for getting back. And when you're doing this journey from a cruise ship, knowing how you're getting back is probably more important than knowing how you're getting there. There are regular trains, but don't assume that if you miss one, another will be along in 5 minutes. You could be looking at a wait of around 50 minutes for the next one. And when you've got a ship departure time in the back of your mind, 50 minutes suddenly becomes quite a long time. The station itself isn't particularly big, so finding your platform is nice and easy. There's also a small shop attached to the station where you can pick up sandwiches, drinks and snacks. And I'd actually recommend doing that here. Rome can be expensive, especially when you're buying food and drink in the tourist areas. So grabbing something here could save you a few euros. And if you've got a bit of time before your train, you can sit down with a coffee or a bottle of water rather than standing around on the platform. The train journey takes just under an hour on average, although it can take a little longer depending on which train you get, especially if you're on a regional service. The good news is that the trains are air conditioned and reasonably comfortable, so once you're on board you can actually sit back and relax. You'll get some nice coastal views as you leave Civitavecchia before the scenery gradually changes to countryside as you head inland towards Rome. Little did I know that the return journey would be a lot more stressful. And then, eventually, you start to slow down and crawl into Roma Termini station. Now, Termini is a very different proposition to Civitavecchia station. It's big, very big. There are long platforms, lots of people and plenty of walking, so don't arrive back here at the last minute and expect to simply jump on your train. On the plus side, you're only 8 minutes walk from the Colosseum. You've made it. Now go and enjoy your day. And this is where I think we need to talk. Getting back to Civitavecchia requires planning and a plan B. Roma Termini is huge and there can be a lot of walking involved just getting to your platform. The trains back don't tend to be quite as frequent or as reliable as you might hope, and in my experience, cancellations can and will happen. The information desk is helpful, but there can be some pretty long queues if you need to speak to someone. I stood in one for 15 minutes before deciding that time was of the essence and heading for a ticket machine. And here's another thing to watch out for. Platforms
can change, and they can change at the last minute. So you can find yourself with a train approaching, a platform suddenly changing, and now you've got to make your way across a huge station to find the new one. And I know all of this because it happened to me. I had my first train cancelled, then on the second one, a sudden platform change meant that despite darting across the station at breakneck speed, I got there in time to watch it pulling away without me. Eventually, I barely managed to get on a slower, local train back to Civi. I'd allowed an extra 2 hours for safety, but they were eaten up just like that. When I finally arrived, I had just 30 minutes to get back to the ship. 30 minutes. That's cutting it fine. Luckily, this time it all went perfectly, and I could head back to the ship at a leisurely pace.
Well, it's 37 degrees here, and I just want to show you a quick thing here. I'm on the promenade now, and the promenade goes to exactly the same place, and in fact, just behind me there, that's the road I walked down before, and the station is just behind me. So you can walk down the promenade, and there is the fort behind me there, but the promenade is a little bit hot, and the reason I chose to walk on the road was because there's more shade there. And as I say, it's 37 degrees and the humidity is about 90%. So if you're walking and it's a day like this, perhaps that shaded road is better than this. So I'm almost back to the start of the town and the McDonald's, which you'll see just there behind me. So here I am back at the fort, and that's the journey I took down that tree-lined road, back here again. And if you've come here on a ship, your ship is going to be one of those over there.
While in Rome, you need to decide on the sites you wish to visit. The main sites are all within walking distance, but the Vatican is on the other side of the Tiber River, with regular buses taking you there. But you will need to have booked ahead for a tour or to view the Sistine Chapel, and queues for this can be 3 hours long. You'll find the shopping streets, including stores such as Prada and Gucci, are within the same area. However, again, you will need to book ahead. They are by appointment only, so consider if you really have time for this. Not a concern for me, as I doubt they'd let me in anyway. Hop-on buses are available for a quick city tour as well. In my experience, having done this trip more than once, you need to decide whether you're visiting the Vatican for the day or the main sites that Rome is famous for. Trying to do both is a big ask. If you do miss your train, there are taxis for around €150 that take up to 75 minutes, and unless it's rush hour, then it can take much longer. Fix your fare and payment method before you drive off. Cash is preferred, but some will take card. So yes, you can absolutely do Rome independently. It's cheaper, it's perfectly possible, and it gives you the freedom to do Rome your way. But this isn't Pisa. You've got a much longer journey, more potential for problems, and a much bigger consequence if something goes wrong. So plan your return carefully, leave yourself plenty of time, and whatever you do, don't be the person waving at the ship as it sails away. Thanks for watching.